What's going on, everyone? So yesterday, the Lakers did not start the way that we had hoped they would. They took an L to the Golden State Warriors in Golden State, first game back from the 8-day hiatus. Now, I don't want to put too much into the game, right? First game back, the Warriors, they struggled early on too. The difference was they had a guy in Steph Curry who was able to handle a good majority of the offensive workload early on in that first half that kind of propelled them. And then as guys started getting going, as the offense started flowing, they were able to kind of pull ahead and never look back. Where the Lakers, they just didn't have anybody like that. See, the beauty with Steph Curry is while everyone else, even like LeBron James and Anthony Davis to an extent, were just on vacation hanging around, Steph Curry was busy getting in rhythm, working on his shot. He had the big three-point contest against Sabrina. So he was getting shots up. He was practicing. They were running through the drills and stuff. So he was on the top of his game all the way through. When everyone else had downtime, he was still working. So he was able to really propel the Golden State Warriors. So I don't want to put too much into one game. Didn't have LeBron. You're missing a bunch of players. Guys didn't really play the way that we had hoped outside of Anthony Davis. D'Lo had his struggles. Rui, Austin Reeves was pretty good, but he had, just defensively not great. And then also just how many times did he just blatantly miss Anthony Davis with just clear established position on a mismatch? It was like driving me crazy how many frequently he was doing that. But hey, it is what it is. We still got a lot of work to do. 25 games left. We got to win like 15 out of the next 25. And it starts today. The Lakers take on the San Antonio Spurs, and LeBron James is expected to return for that game. Lakers absolutely could use LeBron James. They could have used him in the Warriors game. I know a lot of people are upset over that, myself included to an extent. I'm not as mad as many are, just because it's frustrating as it is to lose the Warriors game. If I have to trade that game for a healthy LeBron James when they reported during the game that this is something that LeBron's been dealing with for a while, he just really needs rest to kind of get over it, and that it's a persistent issue, and he's getting treatment and all that stuff for it, that's not good. That's not a good sign for us going into the play-in and then going into the playoffs. Now, obviously, you got to make the playoffs, so we need LeBron James to an extent. So to me, if it's really that bad, you might as well just sit him in the Spurs game also. But is LeBron going to want to do that? Also, it was just the timing of the treatment. If the Spurs game was first, guess what? LeBron would have missed the Spurs game and been there for the Warriors game. It's just how it worked out. If LeBron takes the stuff after, then who knows? It could take him a week, and now he misses the Spurs and the Suns game. So you're just better off having him take the treatment. Hopefully you beat the Warriors. If you don't beat the Warriors, then at least you have LeBron for the Spurs. That should give you that much more of a chance of beating the Spurs. If you would have beaten the Warriors, then great. Now you probably win both of those games, and you're sitting in great shape. Fortunately, it didn't work out that way. Fortunately, we ended up losing to the Warriors. But look, I talked about this heavily in like the week leading up to the All-Star break and various live streams and videos and stuff. And one of the big things that I talked about was my concern about the Warrior game specifically. Not that we can't beat the Warriors, but just because the Lakers had all this momentum going into the break. And that just all got halted. And most of our guys are rhythm guys. Like D'Lo is a rhythm shooter. Right, he gets into a rhythm, he gets into a flow. It's why you see a lot of times, like D'Lo will start games and he'll be like 1 of 5, and then all of a sudden he just starts cooking. You kind of saw it a little bit in the Warriors game, right? D'Lo was like atrocious shooting the 3 ball. He started off something like, 1 of 7 or whatever, and he ended up finishing 3 of 9. So he hit back-to-back threes. And if he would have kept jacking him up, he probably would have made a couple more. Just because, again, he just has to find his rhythm. He has to find his flow. Once he finds that, he's usually pretty good in that regard. So I had my concerns that, hey, it's very possible we could lose to the Warriors. And this was before we even knew LeBron James was going to be out. You add in LeBron James, that just makes it that much harder, that much worse, because the Lakers now don't have that guy like the Warriors did with Steph, who can kind of just come out, kind of keep you afloat while everyone else is trying to get in rhythm and get themselves together. And then also LeBron James is still LeBron James. So it is very frustrating that this happened. But one of the big things that I talked about in the same breath as the Warriors game was that I'm glad we play the Spurs before we go into the Suns and the Clippers. Because if we had to play the Suns and the Clippers right after we ended up playing the Warriors, I don't know if we win any of those games. But the beauty of the Spurs game, and look, I'm not saying that the Spurs can't, the Spurs already beat the Lakers once. Granted, that was without Anthony Davis, but still, I say it all the time. Just like when I was talking about, I didn't think that the Lakers would beat the Celtics without LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but I did say it was possible, right? It is very possible. Any given night, anybody can beat anybody. That's just the NBA. That's the world we live in. A team gets hot, a lot can happen. But more likely than not, the Lakers should get this win, but it's also a team in which you can work out your hiccups and you can work out your little issues and whatnot and kind of get back to playing basketball the right way. My real problem wasn't that the Lakers lost to the Warriors, it was how they lost to the Warriors, right? The Lakers stopped doing the things that led to the success leading into the All-Star break, sharing the basketball, moving the basketball. Right, they were number one in assists. Every time they get over 30 assists, they win those games. Right, you get multiple guys in double figures, all that stuff. Right, the ball was sticking heavily. A lot of just jacking up threes, a lot of ISO. It was just unnecessary. Right, they just weren't playing the way that we know that they could play. They played the Warriors game plan rather than the Lakers game plan. Right, the Warriors played zone a good majority of the game, and the Lakers just seemed lost and oblivious on how to stop the zone. Like, it's not that difficult. One, you have Anthony Davis. Have him, step up, flash, boom, get him the basketball at the free throw line extended, and then there you go. Right, you're ready to go. Or, penetrate, drive and kick. There's so many ways. Swing the basketball, make the defense keep adjusting and keep shifting. There's so many ways that you can break up a zone. There's a reason why NBA teams don't run zone heavily. Because it's not that hard to break up. But when you play into the zone and you're just jacking up 23s in a half, like it's not a formula for success, especially the way that the Lakers play. If the Lakers were a good three-point shooting team, it might be a little different. But that's my point with the Spurs, right? Is that we can use the Spurs now to get back to playing the right way. And use the Spurs as okay, if we have our struggles and we have our hiccups, luckily the Spurs aren't that great to where we wouldn't be able to still win that game regardless. Right? It's a game that we can, even if the Lakers do struggle, it's a game that the Lakers can beat. It's a game that the Lakers can win, and we need that. And if the Lakers are the 9th seed, 30-27, we're still 4.5 games out of the Pelicans for the 5th seed. It's getting less and less likely that we're going to catch them. And that's a problem. And Dallas looks like a team that is on a mission right now, which isn't good. Because that means best case scenario, we're probably getting the 7th or 8th seed. Now, obviously, anything can happen. Things can change, right? The Lakers, they have the potential to go and rattle off a bunch of wins. They just came off of a 11 out of 16 streak. They can do that again. Will they? That's the question, right? We need them to do that. We need them to start rattling off some wins, and it starts with this Spurs game. You got the Russ game out the way. You got the frustrating game out the way. It happens. It sucks, but hey, take the L, move on, go handle business against the Spurs. Then you have the Suns and the Clippers. You got to win at least one of those. You got to beat either the Suns or the Clippers. And then now you play the Wizards. Going into this 5-game stretch to end February, what did I keep saying? I said I would love if we could go 4-1, which technically we still can, right? We win the next 4 games. Boom, there's 4-1. But realistically, I said we need to finish at least 3-2. I said that we beat the Spurs, we beat the Wizards, and then we got to beat one of the Warriors, the Suns, or the Clippers. Well, guess what? We lost to the Warriors, so we got to beat one of the Suns or the Clippers. I don't care which one. ideally the Suns, just because the Suns is the team we're trying to catch. So that would be best case scenario. You end up handling business and beat the Phoenix Suns. But we just got to get wins at this point. Is all I really care about. Get as many wins as possible, because we go into that March and it is just it does not get easy, and we desperately have to win those 2 games against Sacramento. We play Sacramento on the 6th and the 13th, 7 days apart. We have to, and I mean, I cannot stress enough how badly we must win both of those games. Because both of those games could literally be the difference of us making the 7th or 8th seed and us being the 9th or 10th. Because Sacramento, we are 3 games behind right now. If we beat Sacramento both those times, it gives us 2 games on Sacramento, which is huge. Now we'd only be a game or so back. Now we just need to outpace them for a game, which we can definitely do. But we need guys to pick it up, right? So we've seen guys. Jackson Hayes has played really well. We need his energy, his effort. As guys start trickling back in from injury, we'll see what happens with Cam Reddish. LeBron James is coming back. It kind of seems like every time we get a guy or 2 back, 1 or 2 end up out. But we got to figure it out. We got to get through this. Got to weather the storm, get healthy, and get into the postseason. Get into the postseason, and then I'll take our chances, right? Even if we're a play-in team. If we end up playing one of Minnesota or Oklahoma City, I believe we beat either of them, personally. I have zero concerns of us. Now, obviously, I'm not saying locked in, bet the house, but I fully believe the Lakers can beat Minnesota or Oklahoma City. Handle business, right? Obviously, I want to get to the 6th seed or the 5th seed. The hope is that the Pelicans have their usual back half downfall where they're like, yay, we're the 4th, 5th seed in the West, and then all of a sudden they just start losing a bunch of games. It's kind of the hope, especially because we got the tiebreaker over the Pelicans. Same thing with Dallas. Can they keep this up? I mean, they've been playing really good lately, so I definitely have concerns about that. But we play our game, we'll be in good shape. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think the Lakers get W against the Spurs tonight? Do you think no? Do you have any concerns? Do you think no? We'll right the ship. We'll get back to business, and we'll be in good shape. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.